Hey video editors, welcome back. This is video number 9, the last one in the series. Congratulations, you made it to the last video. Let's get started. Okay, in this last video we're going to talk about exporting. You brought your video in, you edited it to the timeline, you tweaked it, you put in all of the appropriate fades and all the transitions and got your audio nice and sweet. Now you're ready to do something with it. You're ready to share it. So let's talk real quick about how you can do that. It's super easy. Here in the software, you see I have my video edited and ready to go. It is this video, these trees and these flowers with a little bit of picture-in-picture happening. I got my transitions and my audio and my title and all this, and now I'm ready to share it with the world. So how can I do that? I have a couple different options. Up here in the top right-hand corner is the share button. If I drop that down, you see by default, you have a couple different options. You have DVD, a master file, 3 different Apple device, and you have YouTube and Facebook. And what YouTube and Facebook will do is it creates versions that are optimized for you to upload to YouTube or to Facebook, saves it to the hard drive, and then you go into your browser or whatever you use for uploading and upload it there. So let's start by selecting that. So YouTube and Facebook, it brings up this dialog right here. Each one of these has different settings you can tweak. There's not a whole lot you can tweak in here. However, after we talk about this, I'll get to another option where you can. So by default, it comes up. Here's what it's in my info. I can change any one of these. It's called editing. I'm going to change the title to trees and flowers in my yard. How's that for original? Description, this video is about editing. This video shows foliage at my house. Creator is me. I can put tags on it. I can customize any one of these things that I want. Now, if I go over to settings, here's where I can tweak it just a little bit. I created my project as a 1080 project. I could take it down to any smaller sizes if I want, and it will automatically resize them for me. Color space, standard. We haven't talked about that. It doesn't give me an option to change it. It comes up by default usually to faster encode like this. I would recommend always selecting better quality. These computers have the horsepower to handle it. Better quality just means it takes a little longer to do, takes a little more time, makes your picture a little bit better. If you just want to create a really quick thing you can just look at to make sure everything is all right, faster encode works, but generally choose better quality. These other options, since I haven't put captions in my video, they're grayed out. There's no captions to put in there. We haven't talked about how to do that. Across the bottom here, it gives me general statistics on what my video, doesn't matter if I have which of these tabs open. Shows me it's going to be a 1080 at 60 frames per second, stereo audio 48K, and this is how long it is, 19 seconds and 4 frames. And then this gives me approximation of what the file size will be. If I change it to other file sizes, it will take it down to a smaller. Watch if I select SD. It takes it down to a 5 meg video. Of course, that's going to be pretty low quality. So I'll keep that at HD. This shows me it's for YouTube. After I have put my settings in there, then I am ready to go to the next the next screen, we will save it. So let's just put it in my movies folder. How about trees and flowers in my yard? And when I'm done, I click on save. And now it is exporting. If I want to check on the status up here, and that window is a status window. It shows me sharing. I can have multiple things happening at once. It could be rendering or doing media management or pulling footage in or whatever. So here's my export as it is happening. When it finishes, it will put it in that folder. I can go to that folder and I can preview it. I would recommend always when you're editing video, when you're exporting something, watch it from very beginning to the very end, every single frame, to make sure nothing got weird, make sure nothing got missed, make sure you didn't accidentally turn off a filter or something like that so that it looks right. As I can see now, it has finished. So I go into my Finder to my movies, and it is called, what did I call it? Trees and flowers in my yard. It's spacebar. I can preview it. There it is. There's the lovely pan of my trees, and we don't need to watch the whole thing. There's that and the flowers and all that, and it fades out and it's all done. That is all there is to exporting a video, unless you want to get a little tweaky with it. Let's close this window. To do this, you need to get another program called Compressor. It's relatively cheap, but it allows you to get tweak happy with your video. You can adjust anything. So what I will do is I will show you real briefly how to do this. You won't have Compressor by default. You have to purchase it. It does not come standard with Final Cut Pro. If I select my file menu, I can, in my options here, I can do send to compressor. Now, you'll notice right above this is share. This contains the same options as if I clicked in the upper right hand corner. But next one down, I will select a new batch, and it will actually open up the compressor application like this. You will see I have an entry right here of the file project I just sent in. You can send multiple things into compressor. So if I had 5 videos I wanted to compress, I could send them all in there and then tell it go, and it would then export all 5 of them. Or if I had this video and say I wanted to do multiple formats, maybe I want a 16:9 that I'm going to send to YouTube. Maybe I have another social media website where it uses square videos. I could have another one for that in here. Maybe I have another one that it needs to be in not landscape, but in portrait mode. So I could send another version of that in here, all with the same file in compressor. I'm not going to show you all the things that it can do because let's just say it's way more than we will have time to do. But I can show you that if I click on add, I have lots and lots of different options I can select. Maybe I want to create a version for YouTube and Facebook. Click on OK. It adds an entry right here. I can add as many entries as one. Maybe I want to have a version for DVD. I don't know. As you can see, there are 2 entries in here now. When I select each one, this up to 4K is the one that was going to YouTube. Over here on the right-hand pane, I have general and video and audio settings that I can use to change how it will compress it. An important reason that you would do this is if you realize, you know what, I don't want to send an uncompressed file because it's going to be 800 megs and that's gargantuan and I don't want something that big. But I also don't want a teeny tiny little one. I want to maybe be able to tweak my settings to get my file size as small as I can, but get my video quality as good as I can. That is where you would do it in here. And here's all the parameters you can set. I can change the video size. Maybe I want to force it to be 720. Boom. Now it's going to be forced to be 720. Maybe I want my frame rate to be 2997. Boom. Now it's forced to that. I can also change my data rate, which data rate is very, very important. The higher my data rate, the higher this number, the bigger the file size will be, but the better the quality. The lower, obviously the lower the picture quality will be, but the smaller the file size will be. So you have to find a balance. I've spent many, many hours just tweaking these, trying to find just the right ones. And for my purposes, I know if I want a 4K video, I'm going to use these settings. If I want a 10K video, or not 10K, if I want a 1080 video, I'm going to use these settings. So in here, in Compressor, you can tweak all of these things. Just my little plug for that. If you want to be able to tweak it, Compressor is a great option for you. If you don't care and don't want to tweak it, let me revert the changes and exit out of Compressor. And I will go back to Final Cut Pro. You can use the settings right from here, right from share, select Apple devices 1080 for my case, and boom, I can send it out. So that is how you share from Final Cut Pro. I would encourage you, when you're sharing, one thing to watch out for, make sure you have the right thing selected. If I have a movie clip like this selected here in this window, and I go to share, it's going to share that movie clip. So make sure you don't have the wrong thing selected. Make sure this window is active down here, or make sure your project is selected. Either one will do it. Anyway, when you're exporting, make sure you have the right thing selected. That's it. That's all there is to sharing. Super simple, super straightforward. If you don't want to tweak it, just use these standard settings that come with it. If you do want to tweak it, Compressor is a good option, but there are also a lot of other options out there available. All right, that is it. Congratulations, you just made it to the end of video 9 of the series of how to edit in Final Cut Pro. Congratulations. I'm glad you've been here. I'm glad you stuck it through the whole way to the end. Thanks for doing that. If you liked it, as always, please click on like. That helps me out. If you want to see more of my videos as they come out, as I very likely will make more, like how to use multicam clips, or maybe I'll dig deeper into audio compression or an equalization or things like that. Click on follow and you'll be notified anytime any of that happens. Of course, if you don't want to do any of that, not a big deal. I hope these videos were helpful and I hope that you enjoyed them, and feel free to share them with anybody you might think might appreciate them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next series. I'm out.